Hey again. Alright, we're back. After being rudely interrupted. As you recall, we were going to, in our last episode, we were going to take a look at our little fuel cut solenoid here. Now, this here, basically it's a one-wire deal. Okay, whoops. There, one wire there, and then just grounds through the engine. Checked our tractor. There is 12 volts applied to this wire when keyed hot, and it goes away with the key off. So now to test this, what we need to do is we have our test battery here with a couple jumpers. We're going to take our negative, or our ground, and connect it to the body of the solenoid. Okay? And then we're going to take our lead and we're going to watch our little plunger here on the end. Now, seeing that it would restrict fuel with the key off with nothing happening to it, I'm assuming this is out. And what I would be looking for it to do when we do apply some power to it is I would expect this plunger to move down, and that would open the orifice and allow fuel to flow. Key off, plunger goes up, shuts it off. Sounds simple. Okay, so let's see what we get here. And the answer would be nothing. So, it appears that we have a dead solenoid. Nothing going on. Okay. So, now, if we think about it, and this here, let's see, I got our ball right here as well. Now this here threads up into the carburetor like that, and it seals off the bowl on the bottom, fuel bowl, in combination with shutting off the fuel. So, alright, we already know that our solenoid is no good. So we need to replace our solenoid. So what I'm wondering is if at this point, just for a proof of concept, I wonder if we can take and cut the plunger off right here, so it won't stick up into the body of the carburetor into that orifice, but it would still normally go on and keep our float bowl up here. Now, in theory, if this is the only issue that we have, and I'm kind of thinking it is, we should run without that in there. So, you know what? Like I said, this is already bad. We've just proven that. Let's give it a try. We have nothing to lose but a little bit of time. Okay. So I've obtained our very handy Dremel tool, and I think what we'll do is we're going to go and we're going to cut that right off. Let's give it a shot. Okay, so that should get us out of that orifice. I'm not sure how much this solenoid would move. I'm assuming not an awful lot, but you never know. But anyways, that should Should do it, I believe. So what we'll do now is we'll put it back in. I'm going to take a file and I'm just going to round these edges off just a little bit, just in case it does actually go in a little bit. And let's see what we can do. Alright, so moving right along here, we have our carburetor back on, we put our bowl back on, and we put the solenoid up into the bottom of it after we cut it off. We tested our fuel pump before. Fuel pump is working. We got our battery in. All of our safety switches are jumped. The brake is locked. Let's see if we can make some magic here. Now this particular one has got a separate throttle. We'll go up about halfway and we'll choke it. What we're going to do is we're going to give it a little bit of an extra drink. We'll give it a little bit of fuel. Aid in the... Okay. That's good. But it would be better to get it to run on its own. One more throttle. Choke it again. Okay. So far, looks like it's only running on what we're putting in. Like I say, we had good fuel coming out of that. Got our temporary battery hook up here. Well, folks, it's not looking good that this is going to work for us. I've got some gas in there now. Way too much. All right. So, there you have it. Now, the only other thing, of course, here we go. Like I say, we're assuming that the fuel that's in the tank of this thing is good. And that's not necessarily the case. I think the only other thing you're going to do is I'll drain that flow bowl. I'm going to hook up another gas source over here and give that a shot. Alright folks, well what we've done here is we've taken and we've bypassed, this is from the tank through this filter. We put a hose on here going direct into our little bottle, redneck fuel tank. Okay, I gave it a healthy squirt, and let's see what it does. Okay, so that proves it. Our solenoid, in combination with the fuel that's in the tank of this thing, we're preventing it from running. Like I say, we did prove that the solenoid was inoperative, and now it's non-functional, and we do seem to run okay. So, cool. So we got to get a solenoid for this, and next up on our adventure I'm going to come up with more of a better little tank that I can rig up to use than that. That's not super duper safe, because the next thing that we've got to do is we've got to operate these pedals, because the rumor is that the hydro didn't work in this thing.
Where's the car? I made the deadline.
So that'll be next up. We'll see what's what. But anyways, our 16 horse Briggs twin seems to run okay. Doesn't make any noises, doesn't smoke, doesn't do anything weird. We'll add a fuel cut solenoid to the list of our parts that we've got to acquire, along with the coil for our Kawasaki engine that we looked at in the 180. And so next up, I think I'm going to rig up a better way of running this tractor, or I'll pull the tank out and drain it and put real fuel in it. But we do know that the fuel pump works. We do know that it does run okay. And I'm kind of wondering if that fuel cut solenoid's even necessary. I suppose, depending on the height of the fuel and stuff like that. I mean, it could, without that, well, no, because if it could siphon fuel all through all the time, so when it it would flood itself. I mean, that might be a reason there. I mean, a lot of times I think they just put those in there so it's like an instant stop when you turn the key, which it does anyways, because we've just turned off the ignition system. So anyways, cool. So I'm going to wrap up this part of this, and hopefully the camera actually recorded the whole thing, not like it did the last time. So I guess next up I'll get something a little bit better on there for a fuel system, and so we can run it, and maybe even take it outside, see if we can make it move, because that's the next story on our LT166, is that the hydro's bad. So till the next time, as always, thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, thank you for commenting. Good, bad, or indifferent, it's all good to me. So anyways, until the next time, as always, take it easy.